Can interrogation be confined to prison premises? Is the recovery of a weapon sufficient to sustain a murder conviction? And what benefits is a wrongfully terminated judicial officer entitled to upon reinstatement? These were among the key legal questions examined by the Supreme Court this week. Here's a roundup of the landmark judgments. On 27 July 2026, in the State of Andhra Pradesh versus Suda, Suresh, Veera, Venkata, Naga, Raju, the Supreme Court of India set aside overly restrictive lower court conditions in a custodial death case involving a police officer, ruling that confining interrogation solely to prison premises impairs effective investigation. The court allowed the special investigation team to interrogate the accused at its designated center, limiting the overall police custody period to 15 days under Section 187 of the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. The court further clarified that mandatory video recording applies only to active interrogation and recovery sessions, not during transit, and ruled that while defense counsel can observe from a distance without interfering, investigating authorities remain strictly responsible for ensuring the accused's physical safety without using third-party methods. On 28 July 2026, in Khalil Pasha and others versus Abdul Rasheed Anr, the Supreme Court of India set aside a High Court order remitting a 1988 murder case, thereby restoring the trial court's acquittal of the accused. The apex court confirmed that an order of acquittal fortifies the presumption of innocence, which should not be overturned if the trial court's view is plausible. The court cited major evidentiary gaps, noting unreliable chance eyewitness testimonies, contradictory medical evidence on the victim's consciousness for dying declarations, and a doubtful crime scene. Reaffirming criminal jurisprudence, the bench held that weapon recovery under Section 27 of the Evidence Act alone cannot justify conviction without a complete unbroken chain of supporting evidence. On 29 July 2026, in High Court of Judicature for Rajasthan versus Abhay Jain, the Supreme Court of India ruled that consequential benefits upon a wrongfully discharged judicial officer's reinstatement include selection scale and super time scale. The apex court held that an employer cannot cite missing annual confidential reports (ACRs) to deny higher pay scales when the non-availability of those records stems directly from the employer's own illegal termination. Evaluating the officer's eligibility on his remaining valid pre-discharge record, the bench directed the High Court to grant him selection scale effective 16 July 2018 and super time scale from 16 July 2021 along with applicable arrears. And that's all for this week's judicial updates. Stay tuned with Law Times for more such insightful judicial updates. Thank you.